I'm not here for ego, I'm here for sales. So I kind of did lay a challenge down to Alex and said, all right, if you can do it, if you think you can do it, I'll give it a go. I gave you sort of 6 week trial, I think it was, and that was what, 7, 8 months ago. We're now building up into our peak period. And I think we're going to have a very good period over the next 3 or 4 months. Where I was struggling is being able to do that when you've got a business now that's turning over 7 figures. I didn't have the time to be able to sort of come up with the content. The second area with it was actually really getting engaging content well designed and having somebody design emails every single week.
Hey, thanks for watching. This is just Alex from IX Media. Today we are awesome with the amazing, well, I should say great, James. And listen, we're going to be doing a little client interview with James, talking about how it's working with IX Media, his experiences before and after, and just a little bit of everything. So, James, welcome. Thanks for hopping on. I just wanted to, first just wanted to ask you for more context. Can you explain a little bit about what Great Balls of Flour is? What do you guys do? Just a bit of more context.
Sure, thanks, Alex. Great Balls of Flour is a online e-commerce business primarily. We sell pizza kits. So there's been a big explosion of craze of people buying pizza ovens over the last 5 years, and they've realised that perhaps pizza dough or the pizza making is not quite as easy as they really thought it was. So they come to us to buy the dough balls or buy the pizza mixes, and then get a lot of toppings on top of it as well. We have a lot of Italian and specialised Italian toppings, and we ship them out across the country.
There you go. And you guys are based in the UK, but do you just want to explain? Are you guys mainly retail focused, more e-commerce, a little bit of both, just for context?
We are a little bit of both. We actually, I suppose, cross three different sectors. E-commerce is by far our biggest in terms of order numbers for obvious reasons. We then sell into a lot of restaurants, Italian restaurants, bars, cafes, bistros, who use our dough balls. And we're selling some of our products into retail as well.
Perfect. All right. And before working with us, just to see what your experience was like beforehand, do you want to talk about what your email marketing looked then, like your campaigns, your flows, how much time it consumed, maybe just before working with us?
Sure. So I would like to think I know quite a lot about email marketing and the concepts of it. And so I was able to build a big list. I was able to get the lead gen associated with that. I was able to ensure that the lists were managed correctly. We had the correct workflow set up, abandoned cart, post purchase, et cetera, win back. All of that. I've spent a lot of time learning on things like Klaviyo University, and spending a lot of time on seminars for that. Where I was struggling is being able to do that when you've got a business now that's turning over 7 figures. It's time, and I didn't have the time to be able to sort of come up with the content. The second area with it was actually really getting engaging content well designed.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not a designer, and having somebody design emails every single week, and also having somebody create the content. I think some people liked some of my emails that I was writing. I was making them very personal at the time rather than just generically business minded, on the newsletters in particular. And I get comments saying, I love reading your newsletter. Yeah, it's great for an ego, it's not great for sales. Um, I'm not here for ego, I'm here for sales. So when you guys came along and approached us, to be honest, just so the customers or your listeners are aware of this, I was very skeptical. And so I kind of did lay a challenge down to Alex and said, all right, if you can do it, if you think you can do it, I'll give it a go. Um, because I think I could help. And so, and one of the things I don't like is not being able to know what somebody's doing. So I also know about the meta advertising. So the meta marketing guys can't come to me and say, oh, the budget isn't working, the ROAS is not this. It's like, that's a complete load of crap. And it's similar, I think, with you guys. But I gave you sort of 6 week trial, I think it was. And that was what, 7, 8 months ago?
That
We're
was a
still
while ago.
here.
Yep.
We're still here. We're actually, that was through our quiet period. We're now building up into our peak period. And I think we're going to have a very good peak period over the next 3 or 4 months. And what I really like is the engagement and the content element, because the ability to create new content and design it well is something I struggled with. And I think it actually is something quite a lot of brands struggle with, particularly smaller brands, if they don't have in-house e-marketing teams. And you're an extension of that. I cannot deny IX Media are now, I believe, what I think is an extension of that. And I like the fact that I can see the results growing month in, month out.
No, of course, and I appreciate you working with us, and I remember in the beginning when we first got in touch and contact, and those first couple of calls, you were like, "Well, I don't know, I had to think about it and all these things," but I mean, just props to you for saying, you know what, it did take some time out of the business, and you were like, maybe it is time now that you are hitting seven figures to transition that part. But I wanted to go back to specifically like that time aspect and like design aspect because, like you were saying, a lot of brands have that maybe like personal connection to the brand that they're like, well I'm scared that although it is maybe better for me for time and money, all these things, I'm scared that maybe we won't align with the brand. For you, James, like just just speaking from the email designs we've made for you guys, like how is it aligning with the brand? Are we following the the structure, everything like that? How does it align with Great Balls of Flower?
No, the alignment's great. The way that the design elements focusing on graphics and fonts has been very good. I'm not going to deny and say, just again for general transparency, that there haven't been mistakes. There have, but what I think let you guys do is get out and create. Now, there are going to be mistakes that happen. We still make mistakes here in a factory every day. We try and minimize them. That's the element of humans being involved. A mistake can happen. The importance is recognizing a mistake and ensuring a mistake doesn't happen again. Again, transparency. What are those mistakes? What were those mistakes? For me, they were quite big bugbears because I'm British, so therefore I
Yeah.
speak British English. I write British English. You guys are based over in America. You like removing the letter U from certain things or replacing Z's or Z's, as you say, with an S with a Z or a Z. Um, People then know, and I think one of the things we want to do is make sure that people, our audience, believed that the emails were still coming from us in-house in content in the UK. And there were people actually as well. There was one of my friends that I went down to a rugby match with in London in February, so a good 4 months or so after we were working together. I didn't even know he was on our database. I didn't know he was buying products from us. I'd have given him a friend's discount if he was. And he turned around and said, "Oh, I saw I've seen you change your emails. They're so much better now. I really like the design of them." And it's like, that's the sort of thing when you own a company, when you build a company, when you take so much interest in the company and you're looking at the brand, you become too physically connected and mentally connected. It's like to be able to separate it. And now that's what I've done is like you are now that extension. And that gives me the freedom to spend other time elsewhere in the business growing it. And it's you've got to just, I suppose, I'll use it, we call Great Balls of Flour, so I can get away with using ball related puns relatively well. But you've got to make sure that you sort of have the balls to pass it over to somebody else and say, get on with it, run with it, and just believe that they won't drop the ball. And they'll carry on running with it. And that's essentially what it's all about. And it's, to me, it's seriously working.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad, even the transparency too. We are in the US, you guys are in the UK. So there were the times and conversations we would have about like fixing everything. But yeah, no, I mean, overall, I didn't even know that story until you told me that your friend was like, he told you about the emails. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. It's what I love to hear. And yeah, just always trying to make it better and having more, processes of approval, making sure that it's less and less errors. It's to the point that there's none. But I mean, right now it's just really just I guess balls to the wall in this case with the bigger months. But yeah, I guess like kind of the final question, James, I wanted to ask you for people maybe listening. When you did start working with us, maybe like 3, 4 months after, what was maybe like one or two surprises that you were like, huh, I did not expect that. I thought this was a lot, very done, they're done very well, and maybe this is something that I just wasn't expecting.
I suppose actually there's only so much content I think you can probably create. There was certainly only so much content that I can create or I could create. And it's the continuation of content creation that you've done that has surprised me the most. And, we're knocking out, what is it, 2, 3 emails a week,
Around there,
and the
yeah.
content is different. And the engagement, I still believe, is there. The audience interaction is still there. Um, yeah, you get the odd person. You're going to get the odd person, a quarter of a million users on your email list saying, "You're sending too many emails out. Take me off your list." But even that is really a minimum, and I think it's that. It's sort of keeping the spam, keeping the engagement, and keeping the content creation at those levels. That's what's really surprised me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, and yeah, that's always like the number one thing. We always have like the talk with the designers, like what's gonna be the next thing we're gonna be doing. And especially since we are launching 2 to 3 emails every single week, it's like the number one thing we put our attention towards. But listen, James, I just want to thank you for your time. Appreciate you being on. And for everybody watching, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And please buy Great Balls of Flour if you were in the UK. They are amazing. Thanks so much,
We'll
James.
be over in the US soon.
Soon, very soon. And we'll be making
Over in the US soon. Yeah.
perfect. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
Cheers.
All right.